welcome to another Tuesday Live. Now, it's on a Tuesday night live. I'm actually trying it on a new time today and in the afternoon just to see if anybody can hop on live in the afternoon. If you have a chance to watch the replay later, then leave a comment. Let me know, you know, what everybody's up to at this time. But yeah, I'm basically just going to try it out at different times to see when everybody can hop on. But today I'm talking about real sugar. This is going to be interesting. Real sugar versus fake sugar. I get asked this question a lot, and I have a interesting story as well to go along with it. But without further ado, if you are new here, let me quickly introduce myself. Welcome if you're new, by the way. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and listening to some information and some knowledge, and hopefully it will help you make different choices for your health in the future. So without further ado, my name is Renee Paulson. I am a recovering food and sugar addict. I'm also a healthy nutrition and healthy lifestyle coach, the sugar detox coach, also accountability coaching. I'm also a wife and mom of two. I went on my health journey after I had a severe car accident. Not willingly, honestly, in the beginning. It was really my husband who was like, let's get healthy because you're in a lot of pain. And I heard that sugar causes a lot of pain and inflammation in the body. And then I was very angry at him. And so we went along that journey, but I was also super angry and just really hit a wall where I was super upset. And it was that time when he came to me and he said, I think we should do no treat meals for like 3 months. And I totally lost my shiznit, to be honest with you. And I was so mad. And I had, like, was in the bathroom into that angry, like, ugly cry. And I took a step back and I was like, wait a second. Why am I this emotional about food? And that really kind of just took me down this path of discovering that food and sugar addiction is actually a real thing. And they don't tell you about it. And in today's society, when there's so much added sugar in literally everything, in your pasta sauce, in your ketchup, in everything, it's very easy to do because most of the added sugar in a lot of products that we consume on a regular basis have more than 100% of your added daily sugar allotment. So when you go over that allotment, really your brain kind of gets triggered and it starts to rewire pathways into lighting up all the time and needing more and more of that, which leads you down the path of sugar addiction. It really literally doesn't have anything to do with you. It's just like a brain and a nutrition fact. Like, it doesn't make you a bad person. It's not like you're going to be out, on the street, like hooking for sugar. I mean, I don't know, maybe. I wasn't there. But it's also a very difficult addiction. Food and sugar addiction is a very slippery slope because it is something that you need to sustain yourself. So a lot of what I teach is healing your relationship with foods and trigger foods. I'm actually going to go more into depth about how to do that on an exclusive live this Thursday afternoon in a private Facebook group. I will link the private Facebook group in the comments below, and you can go join over there. It's called the Warrior Women for Weight Loss and Health. And it's a bunch of awesome women, and I'm going to give real life tools on how to heal your relationship with food and heal your relationship with specifically trigger foods. Hey, Ashley. If you're on, say hi. What's up? Let's make this a little convo back and forth. If you have any questions, type them in the comments. If you're watching this as a replay, you can still type them in the comments. I still go back and I chat with all of you because that's what I do and I love to do it. But I want to get into this fake sugar versus real sugar because I find that a lot of times we kind of say, well, I want to do the sugar-free version, or I want to still have those treats and not like sacrifice my health and have all of the connotations that can go with sugar, that also you have diabetes, you have inflammation, you have pain, and a whole bunch of other lists of side effects that can go with sugar, anxiety, depression, Alzheimer's, dementia, like a huge amount of stuff. There's a huge list of things. So I find that a lot of times people will say, well, I'm going to make this sugar free and I'm going to make it with, I'm not going to make it with sugar. I'll make it with Splenda, or I'll make it with stevia, or I'll make it with this, I'll make it with that. And then I have had several people come up and say, well, what do you think about that? What is your opinion on using real sugar versus fake sugar. Now, I'm going to also go and dive into four main like fake sugars, what they do to the body, but here's the biggest thing that I want to stress when you substitute real sugar for fake sugar. It actually hits the body and the brain differently. And what I'm more concerned with is how it hits the brain differently, because what ends up happening is you have this fake sugar treat, whatever it is. It could be a Diet Coke, it could be whatever, like a keto brownie or whatever. So if you have that fake sugar, I don't know about the keto brownies because I don't know a specific brand, but something like that. And so when you consume those and it's got the fake sugar in, you're still feeling the sweetness. And now, if you've had things like, like Splenda or Stevia, they have a different taste than sugar. They're still sweet. Usually they're really, really sweet. I think it's Splenda that's like 15 times sweeter than sugar, something like that. I think that was the one I was looking at. It's been a day. But yeah, so when you consume those, you have the sweetness. You feel like your craving might be satisfied, right? Because you got that sweetness. But inside, your brain is still going, excuse me, ma'am, you promised me some sugar. And I don't know what this crap is, but it ain't sugar. And I don't want that. And I want sugar because that you promised me. You said I was going to get sugar. So this is your brain battling back and forth. You promised me I was going to get sugar, and this ain't sugar. So your brain then sits there like a 5-year-old and is like, dude, I don't even like you can't even pull the wool over my eyes. Like it's not happening. And so what ends up actually really happening is you will tend to overeat more because your brain is still in that like neck, like this is not sufficient. I don't feel okay with this. So is it better to consume something with fake sugar versus real sugar? In my opinion, I don't think so. What I actually teach my clients and what we really work through for is, hi Janelle. Like I said, if you're on, jump on, say hi, what's up? But what I really teach clients is, first of all, is healing that relationship with foods. Now, if you have a trigger food that like is ice cream or cookies, cookies was a big trigger food for me. Instead of trying to figure out how you could have cookies with fake sugar and then you end up consuming more, which adds to calories, which adds to your weight gain. And I'm also going to specifically tell you what each of those does to your body and the negative effects that they can have. Um, Instead, wouldn't you rather just heal your relationship with your trigger food and then be able to enjoy that food with its real sugar, all raw and all, and then be able to feel satisfied? You have the satisfaction of you had the real sugar item, right? Let's say it's the cookie or the ice cream. You didn't go overboard because you're healing that relationship. So you don't feel like you have to stuff like all of them in your face like the Cookie Monster. And and then you're satisfied and your brain still goes, okay, I'm good. You promised me sugar, and this was sugar. And so we're good. Instead of going, overeating because the brain is still going, I'm not satisfied. This didn't do it for me. So it's important mostly to take, instead of switching out those things, instead of saying, well, instead of making these brownies, I'm going to make sugar-free brownies. Instead, heal your relationship and work through where you can have a brownie with your treat meal once a week, and it's a real brownie and it's delicious and it's amazing, and then you feel satisfied and you move on throughout the day and you thanks for the heart, hi Julio. But you move on throughout the day and you go through your week and you feel fine and you're not going to jump back into that addicted mindset because you've healed that relationship with food. So it's incredibly important to really work through healing. A lot of what, and especially I missed when I first started getting healthy, probably because I was very angry about it, but is that word heal is literally in the word healthy. And it takes healing, otherwise, you end up on that binge and diet cycle where you're like, you ate all the garbage stuff, and now you're like, oh my God, I don't fit my jeans, and like, the holidays are coming and we're going to be taking pictures and like all those things. So I need to diet really fast and see if I can lose 15 to 20 pounds by the time we're taking Thanksgiving pictures, right? And, you know, substituting all those out instead of being on that cycle, just healing your relationship with food and knowing, like, okay, I can be at the Christmas party and have a brownie and be okay and then move on with my life and not freak out and stress about it. So it's really a slippery slope when you try and substitute out for fake sugars. I will tell you, okay, so let's go through. Stevia is probably the most natural. That's the one that like I use if I'm going to sweeten my coffee when on a random day when I do have coffee, which is getting cold now. So I'll probably start to have coffee again in the mornings. But it can also cause gas, it can cause nausea, and it can cause actually inflammation in your kidney and your liver. Now, also, that's probably at like extreme amounts. So, if you are going to do fake sugars, I probably would do stevia, would be my choice of what I would use. Obviously, it is my choice, but literally, I probably have one packet of stevia maybe once a month, maybe, and that's pushing it. Um, I also am not a regular coffee drinker. So that could be probably why. I mean, if I drank coffee regularly, I probably would have maybe one packet. I would usually split them up. So like one packet every other day or something like that. So would really just watch your amounts on that. But that's probably the most natural, the one that I would choose. That's my number one. Now there's also another one that's a 0 calorie and is used a lot for keto, and that's isomalt. So isomalt is another good substitute, perhaps maybe second best to maybe stevia. Not second best. I would choose monk fruit over that. But it's something that it actually doesn't get absorbed all the way in the small intestine. So again, it can cause you issues like leaky gut. It can cause gas and diarrhea and things like that. Like I don't need any help with gas in that situation. Sucralose is another one. Obviously, everybody's heard of sucralose, Splenda, and all of that. It can also cause leaky gut. And sucralose really causes, there's new studies out that it can really mess with your gut microbiome, which, as we now know with new studies and everything like that, the gut and its microbiome and all its good, like good bacteria, bad bacteria, all of that, that's like the second brain. And so if you have a problem with you don't have enough good bacteria in your gut and there's always bad bacteria, it can actually alter your mood. Like make you more prone to depression, things like that. Like you just don't feel right. And you're like, why am I so cranky today? Or why am I so, and so watch that. It can actually, it takes your good bacteria, good gut bacteria down by about half, which is major. So like if you're not taking a probiotic on a regular basis and you're having sucralose on a normal daily basis, then your gut microbiome is probably all jacked up and needs some time to like reflourish a little bit. Feeding that things like kimchi or sauerkraut, those types of things, which I generally don't like, but I eat them if I have to, just for health. That can actually help kind of like with your gut bacteria. And the also the last one a lot of people know about is aspartame. Aspartame is, I'm going to tell you, it's just like a no-go. It's just a no-go. Don't do it. I know that I think that they still use aspartame in Diet Coke. I'm fairly certain. I should have just looked that up because I don't drink a lot of diet. I mean, I don't drink any diet soda, obviously, or any soda at all anymore. But aspartame has been linked to strokes, to Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, throat cancer, stomach cancer, intestinal cancer, bladder cancer, just all sorts of things that you're like, like when you hear the C word, you're like, ugh. And then I don't know about you if you've ever seen anybody with the C word, but it can definitely be a rough situation. Definitely not something like I would wish on anybody or want to deal with. So the least amount of exposure that you can do. I mean, nowadays it's like everything is a problem. So, but yeah, I definitely aspartame. My grandmother honestly had Alzheimer's, and she used to do a lot of the fake sugars, and she was very like diet conscious, like very much. And obviously, I can't prove that the reason that she got that was because of this. There's also other several factors, but again, if you haven't experienced Alzheimer's firsthand, it's pretty fucked up. Just excuse my language, but like, let's just be real. It's pretty jacked up. It's a messed up situation. And now I think that there was a new study out that within the next 20 years, I think the rate of Alzheimer's and dementia is going to go up by 45%. Like, like 45%, like for reals. And I honestly think it's because of, a lot of us are realizing that sugar is not good, that it's, we have a diabetes, epidemic, we have a obesity epidemic, we have all of this stuff that's being caused from the standard American diet. And so I think companies are kind of catching on, and so they're either trying to lower the added sugar content, but they're substituting it with those fake sugars. So the more fake sugar that you actually put into your body, the more it really damages not only just your body, I mean, it also causes inflammation throughout the body. So it does the same thing as sugar, but it works on your brain. Like I said, it works on that brain part differently. And my feeling is that if you're going to consume something sweet, and it sounds probably a little like wrong for a sugar detox coach to say this, but if you're going to consume something sweet, like make it real sugar. Or, or now here are also a few of my substitutes that like if you're making protein muffins or protein cookies or things like that, what are also good, and these are natural substitutes that are really going to help bring that sweetness up, but also it's not going to give you like the gas and the diarrhea and the leaky gut and the taking your microbiome down and like all of those things. So it's going to give you the good added benefits, especially phytonutrients. So, one good sweetener is dates. If you have not tried dates, like, I mean, I don't know about you, but I didn't try dates until I was like a grown up, like in my 30s type of a deal. I definitely was over 30 when I tried a date for the first time. Not like a date, but like the medjool dates. They're MEDJOOL dates. If you eat one, it's like candy. So I don't suggest eating them, but they're really good if you do. But if you take like a date, um, like if you have a protein shake and you have a date, um, like your banana and your protein shake is like super green or whatever. Ugh, I hate that. Throw a date in there, that'll sweeten it right up. We make protein bars. If you take two dates and throw them in the whole mix and everything, now, dates are super sticky, and so if you want to work with them, I would suggest like a food processor or something like that. I know you can cook them down as well. You can boil them down and kind of like make a simple syrup, which is also really good to do as well. Monk fruit is another one, and just to use as a substitute. Anything that kind of comes from like natural fruit and maple syrup, but make sure that it's real maple syrup, not the fake crap. Most of what's on the shelf, I'm sorry if I talk with my hands a lot, but most of what's on the shelf is it's not a natural maple syrup product, and you'll be able to tell if it's real maple syrup by the price tag. And here's what I mean. Real maple syrup is generally, it costs more. And the reason is like they're pulling it from a giant tree. Have you ever seen how they make maple syrup? Like they pull the sap from this tree and then they got to boil it down and do this whole process like out in the Vermont woods. And it's delicious, but you know that it's real maple syrup by the price tag. You're not going to get a huge bottle of maple syrup for like $4. It ain't happening unless like no, that's just I wish. It just is not happening. So those are some really good substitutes. I've heard that before from other nutritionists also about sugar. That's right, like it really doesn't pay to have to do the fake sugar versus real sugar. And what I teach people as a sugar detox coach and also as accountability coach is I coach people on how to work through food and sugar addiction and to live a healthy, normal life where you can still consume sugar. For most sugar and food addicts, The only other programs really out there preach abstinence, complete and total abstinence from sugar and whatever trigger foods you have. Now, I have a personal belief that I don't think that that works. I've seen it fail for too many people, too many clients, too many friends, too many. It failed for me. Like it just doesn't work. It leads more to binging. So instead of focusing on that you can't have sugar because you can't keep away from certain like candy bars or things like that or whatever it means, that the answer is not to take it all the way completely out. It just doesn't work like that. The answer really is to teach yourself how, why are you having these feelings? Why are you so emotionally connected to this food item or sweets in general? I love sweets. Now, also, a lot of people, when they struggle with food and sugar addiction, will really crave salty and fatty things. And especially the salty things, that's also part of sugar addiction because if you crave sweet or salty things, they go hand in hand, especially when it comes to processed food, just because of the amount of sugar and sodium added into everything. But it really starts with healing that relationship with that trigger food and understanding why you have that. If you're interested, like I said, I am diving deep in Thursday afternoon in the private Facebook group to discuss how to start healing your relationship with foods, certain sweets, whatever it is, and how you can really start to heal your relationship with yourself and also understand how you got to where you're at. Like it didn't happen overnight. And sometimes there's trauma involved, especially like childhood trauma. For me, there was a lot of childhood trauma that went on. And like I said, I'm going to discuss more about that on Thursday, but really looking at why you have that attachment, why you feel so emotional about it, breaking that down, and then how to start actually moving past that so that you can have things like, oh, I don't have anything on the desk right now, but I just stocked up at 7-Eleven again to do more sugar videos. So I literally have so many trigger foods in my house right now, or what were the old trigger foods that I just have in a bag in my house and I don't eat them and it feels great. And I never thought that that would be possible. Um, if you would have told me that 7 years ago, I would have been like, no, I'm probably going to stuff that whole bag in my face and, like hide in the corner while everybody else is sleeping and eat everything. So healing is definitely possible. It's definitely possible for you. It's not just for me. It is a process though, and knowing how to really break it down. And if you are struggling with food or sugar addiction, um, really knowing that as well is really important. It's very key to how you can start to heal and move forward. And yeah, that's the key basic thing that we all really that's missing that nobody teaches nowadays is like how to heal your relationship with yourself and heal relationships with foods that you struggle to keep away with. So I'm like I said, I'm diving in on that on Thursday. I appreciate you guys being here with me. I love you guys bunches. Type in the comments, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what are some of your fake sugar trigger items that you are trying to get rid of in your life. If you are drinking diet soda, I'm going to tell you that I love you so much that I'm going to tell you no more diet soda for the week. It's not good for you. It's making things worse. So that's the first thing to start cutting out is even diet soda or regular soda. That's going to make you feel like 100 times better and more accomplished and actually ready to take on, your next steps on getting healthy. So thank you so much for being here. I love you bunches. I'll see you Thursday night. If not, I'll see you next Tuesday. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.